Hey, yeah, hey y'all. Okay, I'm going for a little walk and um we're going to talk. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm sorry, y'all, they're building something. I've seen them working over there before and I couldn't determine what in the world they're doing. Is that a residential neighborhood they putting over there? One day we'll go see. Oh, y'all, I think they put in we'll go see. Anyway, let's get to this. This is a story time about how I shamed myself. Y'all, I embarrassed myself. I'm still embarrassed to this day. Do you understand? There's certain people in life that every time they see me, I apologize to them. You understand? And really only probably two that come right to my mind off gate that I could think of that I have not seen, but every time I would owe them an apology every single time I saw them. But anyway, okay, let's talk about this time. And there is a moral to this story. Okay, so my daughter was in kindergarten, right? And they had just started where kindergarten kids, if like when they started kindergarten or whatever, for the first 2 weeks, they had to get picked up at noon so that, they can adjust to being away from parents, da da da, or whatever. And okay, I'm gonna call this lady because her name is so pretty. She was so pretty, she was so pretty. She was so cool. She was so down to earth and so freaking nice, y'all. And she had like the coolest name that I don't want to slip up and say it. So I'm just gonna, hey y'all, how you doing? I'm just gonna call her Miss Cookie. I'm gonna call her Miss Cookie. So my daughter is in kindergarten. She has to get picked up for 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks, every day at noon. I had no transportation. So I was trying to figure it out. Like, how is this going to happen? How am I going to be able to pick my daughter up? She can't miss 2 weeks of school. You know what I'm saying? How am I going to, why would they start this stupid crap? Because like we had just moved to an area where my daughter's school wasn't too far up the street, but it was too far to walk, especially for her. And it was just like a really long stretch to get to her school right off of a road. So it was like, I don't know how I'm going to get this girl from school. So send her to school the first day. And I'm like, I'm just going to let the Lord work it out. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time for no more drama, no mess. I'm just going to let the Lord work it out. Send her to school. Now here it is by like 10:30. I still hadn't found a ride. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. How about you? I still hadn't found a ride for my daughter to get home yet. I called the school and I'm letting them know, I might be late picking up my daughter. I'm looking for a ride. You know what I'm saying? If I am, it won't be much longer just sitting on their line, you know what I mean? But I didn't want them to think it was a big issue. So I, cause here for me, in this area, no matter how small it is, it's going to be magnified times 1,000. So I'm like, just give me a minute and, I'll be there. Another hour rolled by, y'all. I hadn't found no ride. I was in tears. I was stressed, crying, very upset. So I called them back when it was probably around 11:30 or something like that, somewhere around that time. And I just went ahead and let them know, like, listen, on the phone, very upset. Like, listen, I'm doing the best I can to try to find a ride for her, but I don't know how I'm gonna get her home today. And I'm saying, I'm wondering if like there's somebody at the school, a guidance counselor or anybody that can bring her home. And I was like, I can give them some gas or something. And so they were like, well, no, at that hour, blah, 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 this, that, third, whatever. Okay. Now, Miss Cookie did not know me. I did not know her. But our daughters were in the same class. And she had just so happened to be there picking up her child early. She hears the conversation going on over the phone. And so she asked the receptionist or whoever was at the phone. She's like, just ask the person, do they live close by? And so she asked, I'm like, yes. So blah, 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 long story short. She brought my daughter home that day. I was very nervous about it. Of course, I've never even laid eyes on you before. And hold on. Dad, they was getting Johnny all the little legs. But so hey, hi. Oh, good, you're doing good. So I'm like, but at least the school know who shit. They know, who picked this, her daughter up the club. All this other stuff. So I'm like, well, I don't have any other options. I gotta, So she brought my daughter home, and that was that. I didn't see Miss Cookie. Can y'all hear me? I'm standing up here with like a lot of freaking noise, and it's a lot of cars coming by in this big ass truck. Hold on. I hate to be quiet for a minute. Just have y'all sitting and waiting. But hold on. I need for this dude to get going. But okay, here we go. So years go by, right? I don't hear from Miss Cookie. I don't see Miss Cookie or nothing. Now, my daughter gets, thank you, Chris. My daughter gets like in second grade, right? And she in second grade because my oldest son was like 1. He was around 1. Almost 2, whatever, that's still around. But it's still 1. So my oldest son was around 1 at this point in time. And so I had went to pick my daughter up from school. Now, I was still staying in the same house that I had been staying in when my daughter was in kindergarten. But I was staying at my mom's house. I think my lights were out or something like that, and I had been at my mom's house for a couple of weeks. So I was carpooling my daughter to and from school. It took a long time, y'all, because this shit is so motherfucking embarrassing. I was carpooling my daughter to and from school. Hey, lady, I'm on live. I know that's right, girl. Praise the Lord.
Just gotta be.
Just let me know. Okay. All right. Okay, lady. Congratulations. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. But did I get my kid? Got my kid from school that day. How you doing? Oh my God. What the fuck was I saying? I'm sorry, y'all. That just threw me. I'm not lying. Even though he was far away, we looked close enough to kiss me the way his face was hanging out. That daggone car. What was I? Okay, yeah, I did. I got my kid. I was able to pick my kid up from school. And Years go by, picking my daughter up in the carpool line. Now, at the carpool line at this school that she was going to, which was the school, um, it went like there were two lines. One was the main line, and then the secondary line, like after uh, it alternated. When a car went up, the secondary line would pull in, and then, when it went up, somebody, and then so it would be like that. Now, mind you, I had been going through this carpool for, you know, probably about 2 weeks at that point. And every day, several times a day that I was there in the carpool line, I would get cut off. Like when I'm supposed to go up next, and because I mostly went in the main line, I rarely went in the secondary line. But I mostly went in the main line, and it would always be somebody from the secondary line who would shoot in front of me when they weren't supposed to. So this particular day, I go to the secondary line because it was way shorter, and the main line was kind of, leaning out in the street. I mean, not in the street, but So I had went to the secondary line. Sorry, it's taking me so long to tell this story. And ended up, when I get first up there to the line, and I'm supposed to wait, it's hot. It was hot that summer, and we did not have enough gas for me to turn the air on. My son was in the back with his little 1-year-old lungs, and he was screaming his tail off. He was ready to get home. I was ready to get home. We were both hot. You know what I'm saying? He's just agitated. Now I'm agitated. It was just, not a good experience. And I'm sitting there in the line, and something say, you know what? Next time that line move, you shoot right on up there and cut. I don't care who that is. You cut them off. So that's what I did. As soon as the line moved a little bit, I hurried up and boom, zoomed up into the thing where you go. Maybe I was like 4 or 5 cars in the thing to get the kid, behind the door to get kids. And so when I zoomed up and cut the truck off, they started honking their horn. Beep, 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 beep. Not aggressively, just like, like I did. Beep, 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 beep. So I decide to open the car door and cuss them out royally. I mean, all the way. I put it to you like this. My name is Rose, and I cussed that woman out so bad that I still feel bad about it to this day. My daughter was in 2nd grade, and my daughter is now 25. So as soon as she put her window down and was like, excuse me, and I saw who it was, y'all, it was Miss Cookie. I was like, oh my God. I was so embarrassed. And by that time, the line was, ready to move up for me to get my door. Oh, I skipped the part. Because then when the carpool lady heard me cussing out the other woman, she walked up to the car and she's like, man, what's going on? Did you cut off or whatever? And I'm like, bitch, I know you ain't said it. All these days y'all see these motherfuckers cut me off, and y'all gonna say some shit to me today. I act like a fool. So the lady, the teacher or whatever. No. Do I have a friend? No. Do I have a car? No. I'm about to hit my bone. So I'm like, Man, bring your punk ass on. I can't stand when they start moving slow. You see somebody trying to cross the street. Why are you slowing down? Um, so I get home, I forgot to close out that fence. And like, I mean, as soon as, because the line moved up a little bit, then I hurried up, and they were already walking my daughter to the car because they recognized the car. I hurried up. I'm like, right, hurry up, get in here, throw your book bag, get in the car. And I hurried up and shoo, get the hell out of there. And I told my daughter all the way home, I was like, oh my God, I am so embarrassed. Do you realize I just cussed out Miss Cookie? And Ryan's like, Mama. I thought my daughter named Ryan. She was like, Mama, no, you didn't. I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, yes, I did. And I was like, I gotta apologize. I've gotta apologize. I went home. I started blowing her phone up, y'all. She did not answer. I left a message, let her know, Miss Cookie, this is Rose. I am so sorry. You know what I'm saying? I was very stressed out, and I just decided today I was not going to, I was going to just express myself. And I am so sorry. I apologize to you. You know, I remember the good deed that you had done for me, blah, 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 blah. Like, I was just talking my ass off. And she never called me back. I still, called a couple of times, never got no return call. So I was just like, oh, you know what? I'm going to just leave it alone. I did too much. I'm going to just leave it alone. And that's what I did. But Miss Cookie, to get your kid, to get my kid, Miss Cookie, you know your real name. If you see this, you know my daughter, you remember me. I am so sorry. Moral of the story is, you guys, just don't cuss people out. I was going to say make sure you know who it is before you start, but no, just don't cuss people out, period. All right, I love you guys, and I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.